And she said, "Mr. Collingsworth, after all this time, you've been incarcerated 5 years now." She said, "Don't you think you can, stay sober in the free world?" I said, "No, ma'am, I don't." I said, "I'm really scared that I'm gonna relapse again and come back." I said, "This is my 3rd time to prison on the same crime, but yet every time I get out, somehow or another I relapse, I make the bad decisions, and I end up, back in prison. I don't ever wanna come back to prison again." And she says, "Well, what makes you think that the Kyle unit's the answer?" I said, "Because it's behavior modification. It's gonna train me to think differently. It's gonna teach me to recognize my thinking errors. It's gonna change me." And I was a what they call a peer educator, and I taught people in prison about STDs and STIs and, safe prison, how to conduct themselves in prison without getting in trouble and without getting raped or beat up or whatever. So she approved me to go to the Kyle unit, which was therapeutic community, but she also put something in my file because they made me a education coordinator, and what that meant was I had to teach people how to stay sober, and I thought to myself, "My God, I don't know how to stay sober. How am I gonna teach people how to stay sober?" But I had a book, and the book was about therapeutic community. I had been studying on it, and in the book, it said that it was a game, and it gave all the rules to the game, and it told us what we were supposed to do to play this game. And the theory behind therapeutic community was after you play the game for so long, it forms different habits. It makes you think differently. It makes you accept society. If you see somebody doing something wrong in society, you recognize that it's wrong and you do something about it. You either go tell somebody or you say something to them or whatever the case is. It just changes your way of thinking. And so I presented that idea to all the guys in therapeutic community, and I said, "Hey, man, look, I got this book, and this book said that this place is designed to be a game." And I said, "If we want all of our privileges, we need to play the game." I said, "We keep the police out of our business, we keep the counselors out of our business, they'll all think we're programming, and they'll leave us alone." Well, a lot of people in that prison would end up being on lockdown, and they wouldn't have commissary privileges, and we were always watching TV and laughing and joking, and when the counselors come around, we would look like we were programming because we were playing the game. Part of the game was you get in a circle, you write tickets on each other, and then you get in a circle and you confront people over their behaviors. Well, we would wink at each other and we'd laugh and we'd talk smack in the circle. And what the guys didn't realize and that it works. After you play the game for so long, it becomes second nature. You automatically see people doing wrong. You recognize their behaviors in you, and you start changing your behaviors because you don't want to be like that guy or whatever, you know. And I got out of therapeutic community in 2011, but they made me go to a halfway house. And I think by the time I got out of the halfway house, it was probably 2012 before I finally got out. But life's been different since then. Life's been a lot different.